Welcome to my world. Handicapped man down at a charity feed. Great spread this morning. God, it was horrible. But it made what I needed to happen. Then I had these people that stopped and said, "Hey, you want some shoes?" I said, "Yeah, I was going to need to get some anyway. So might as well." And if it really comes to fruition, help them buy more shoes so that we can help more people. I'm not but you know what I mean. Hell, might as well. There's nothing wrong with helping someone.
Are you ready for the wildest ride on Fremont Street? The Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience. 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171 on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. Open 7 days a week, noon until midnight. Strap yourself in, pull your safety belts tight, and feel the power and the speed at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street, 450 Fremont Street, suite number 171, right on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Fremont Street. What are you waiting for? Log on, get your tickets now. It's time to go racing at the Gene Woods Racing Indoor Go-Kart Track Experience, 450 Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Race friends, they're back together again. Live from Daytona Beach, Florida, it's Scratch with a K. And live from Las Vegas, it's Alan Michaels. Right here, right now, on the flagship station, the WCOBM TV network. It's On Pit Road Racing.
Well, good afternoon to you, everybody. Here we are. We're all back in action again.
Yeah, man.
That's it. We are back, man. We got the internet, man. Well, Gene put me on a network here, man. They can't mess with us now, Scratch.
Hey, I'm in. I see me. I'm going to tune me in a little bit better.
Yeah, tune you in. Get the old nut check right there. There she is.
I ain't any better looking than the last time you see me. I can see that already, though.
Well, you know what they said about us both, man. We both got faces for radio, man. So there you go. Welcome on Pit Road Racing, everybody. Alan Michaels here in Las Vegas. My partner, Scratch with a K, down in Daytona Beach, where the world center of speed is at, man. I wanted to ask you, man, how far are you away from the track?
Listen, miles wise, I would say I'm about 6 miles from the track, maybe something like that. 6-7 miles. It'd probably take me about, through traffic and coming out of Ponce Inlet, about, about 20 minutes on a bad day.
Yeah, there you go. So you're close to it. I'm loving it. There you go.
Not bad at all. Reminder though, I do live on the old beach course.
Yeah, I know. Right down there towards the old Turn 1 bar, buddy. I'm liking it. Tiki Bar up there. Got some. Hey, listen, shout out to our good friends at the Tiki Bar out there, man. Thanks for liking the show. We're coming to see you in February of next year. Diane, Gene, and I were packing the show up, and we're going to set this damn thing Scratch. We're going to set it right up on top of the Tiki Bar.
Hey, man, I'm in. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's a great view of the track from on top of the Tiki Bar, man. I'm looking forward to it. Plus, they've been sharing on Pit Road Racing to their page, as a matter of fact. So all the fans of the Turn 3 Tiki Bar can watch us, man, and then they can come have a drink with me anytime that I'm there.
That's right. I'm there too. We'll be there in February. I'll get it all set up and hooked up and ready to go, man. Hey, On Pit Road Racing, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, right here, 4 p.m. here on the West Coast time, 7 o'clock back for you folks on the East Coast, and we'll split it down the middle for you guys in the Midwest. Hey, we do it here from the WCOBM main flagship network, and we send it out to 8 or 9 different social media platforms, from Facebook to LinkedIn, YouTube. We've got it all around, and Scratch is sharing it on the Nutchuck Radio voice out there, so you can pick it up on multiple ways. Real quickly, want to thank Gene Woods. We want to thank the Gene Woods Racing Experience, Woods Family Sandwiches out there, Atlanta Motorsports Park, our good friends at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Red One, Hammer and Harry's, and everybody's partners of the show out there. We really appreciate you doing that. Real quickly, it's a chance for your business and company to join us here at the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame and On Pit Road Racing, where the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame is a nonprofit 501c3. All right. Here are the Heart Shoes. And we just got a brand new load of it. Over 1,000 more pairs just came in, and we're getting out to churches, missions, anywhere from teens, youth, adults, seniors. What it makes no difference. Men, women, and children. These things are great for necessary health and positive development. And man, I'm just telling you, real good. 2 ways you can take part in it. Man, a $500 donation to the Hot Shoe Hall of Fame for these shoes right here will get you 130-second spots on this network social media presence. A $1,000 donation will get you 230-second spots, social media, and a 3-foot banner. It's all tax deductible, folks. We'll send you the paperwork. All you got to do is reach out to us at 702-803-0875. That's 702-803-0875. Scratch, and I'll talk some racing. Let me get racing weather for you real quick. Scratch, they're down in Austin today at COTA, kicking it off today. Sunny, 77 degrees. I know you've been watching them on the TV. Nighttime low at 58. Tomorrow, sunny, 79 with the nighttime low at 60. Sunday for the race. For the big race, 79 of the nighttime low at 66 for those overnight campers. Out in California, Panoma at the In-N-Out Dragway. You got NHRA rolling, mostly sunny for Friday today, 69 a daytime high, nighttime low 53. Tomorrow, you got a chance of rain, 50% chance in the morning, but clearing out in the afternoon, 62 for a daytime high, nighttime low at 50. And for those overnighters on Sunday, 65 and 49. IndyCar down in Palm Springs, California, pretty much a carbon copy today, sunny and 80 degrees for the first round of practice. Tomorrow, they got a 40% chance of rain, and Sunday, mostly sunny with the highs of 67. And for those fine folks down in Australia, Scratch, for the weekend racing at F1, it's just beautiful. 70 degrees for a daytime high, sunny skies with a nighttime low at 55. Racing weather brought to you by our good friends at Woods Family Sandwiches, 931 Pacifica, Suite number 106 in Las Vegas, Henderson, my friend. How you thinking, buddy? Racing action this weekend. Everybody's flying. Formula One's in Australia, NHRA's out in California, Indy cars in California. World of Outlaws are running on the dirt. NASCAR's got a big weekend down in COTA. Talk to me, Scratch. What do you think, my friend?
Hey, man, I think I'm looking forward to a great NASCAR weekend on the road course out in COTA because, I like road course races, so this ought to be interesting. It won't be anything like the first one they had there when it was pouring down rain and they were driving in hurricanic conditions. But
hurricane-type winds.
Yeah, they've had some good cup races there since then. So I'm looking forward to some good races all through NASCAR, including the Craftsman Truck Race, the XPEL 225 at COTA. It's going to be this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. It's going to be on TV on FS1, radio on MRN and Sirius XM. There's stages that they go to 12, 26, and then 42 for the stages there. The entry list for the XPEL 225 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Race at Circuit of Americas, it's been released, and there's 35 drivers for 36 spots, which means everybody's going to race. As a matter of fact, hey, Alan Michaels, if you want to bring a truck out there, there's got room for one more, it looks like.
I don't think they'd like me, but maybe if we had one together, man, we could send Gene down and put him in the thing, man.
Hey, there we go.
We'll get the old man rocking and rolling in the trucks, my friend.
We'll put some hot shoes on him and put him in a truck and send him on his way.
There you go, man. Hey, Scratch, coming up for you, the NASCAR Xfinity Series. It's the Focus Health 250 Circuits of America. Going to be Saturday afternoon, March 23rd, 2024, 5 p.m. Eastern time for the green flag. Qualifying is today, coming around in just not very long, not quite far off by the time we get done with this show, and then we'll have final practice coming around a little bit later. 40 teams and drivers have entered. So, man, 2 cars are going to miss the show. 38 people in teams get into it. So there's 40 in. 2 are going to miss the show. Real quick notables here, man. Ty Dillon's back in the Xfinity Series in the number 6 car. Josh Bilicki in the 92. Kaz Garla's back in action in the 28th. John Hunter Nemechek will drive the number 20. And Eric Jones in the number 24, my friend. And you've got all the information about the Cup race.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting right there. But the Cup Series, the Echo Park, Texas Grand Prix at COTA is this Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. So you got a 3:49 p.m. Eastern time green flag. TV will be on Fox, radio on PRN, CRX XM will be carrying it on the radio. The stage laps are going to be 15 laps, 30 laps, and then 68 to the end. Practice and qualifying is Saturday, March 23rd at 10 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. TV will be FS2 for practice, FS1 for qualifying. The entry list for the Echo Park Texas Grand Prix and NASCAR Cup Series race at Circuit of America is posted. There's going to be 39 teams and drivers for 40 spots. They're listed. So they also got room for, you, Alan Michaels. Some notable entries are going to be AJ Allmendinger. He'll be in the 13 because Shane Van Gisbergen is going to be in the number 16, who you might remember is actually running really well from the Xfinity qualifying I was watching in practice. But you might remember he won his very first Cup start in Chicago last year. And so, I'm going to be honest with you right now. I know you haven't asked me yet, but he'll be your winner come Saturday, I think. I think he's going to win the Xfinity race. That's just my opinion. Kamui Kobayashi is going to be in the 50, and the 66 will be Timmy Hill. At the end of last year's Cup race. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, good to see Timmy Hill back in that car for MBM Motorsports. So those guys getting a shot to get back into action. Go ahead, Scratch.
Yeah, man. At the end of last year's race at COTA, it saw chaos and crashes depending on your point of view. Those final restarts were either exciting or appalling, because everybody's got their own opinion. So NASCAR hopes to avoid the repeat of what happened by moving the restart zone. You know a little something about that. Last year, they had a restart zone that was shortly before the start-finish line, and this year it's moved back to just beyond the exit of turn 20, the last corner before the front stretch. So they believe that that's going to be able to help and to have the leaders accelerate while others are just getting through the corner or yet to do so. It'll spread the field out before getting to turn 1 and that sharp left-hand turn. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, see how it goes. I just always believed the start-finish line was the start-finish line. Once you rolled the car to the line and the guy threw the flag, then you punched the gas and you went.
Yeah, you and I see eye to eye on a lot of this stuff, but that's because we're old school racers. We like the old school. Yeah,
old school racing.
Old school racing. That's what I like. Former Superstar Racing Experience Chief Executive Officer Don Hawk will join the Skip Barber Racing School in 2024 as the organization's new Chief Strategy Officer. Hawk will play an instrumental part in the continued growth and development of Skip Barber Racing School brand, which includes racing schools, safe driving academies, and iconic Formula Car race series, a professional race team operating an SRO and IMSA. See, maybe you could take that course and jump in one of these empty trucks or cup cars there, Alan. Today, NASCAR announced that it has acquired Winston-Salem Speedway Incorporated, the lessee of the historic Bowman Gray Stadium. NASCAR will manage racing operations under that lease with the city of Winston-Salem that runs through December of 2050. That's a big deal, Alan Michaels. I think you got a little more on that, don't you?
Yeah, man, I'm going to tell you something. This is a really unique track. If you've never been there, this thing sits in the heart of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It sits in the heart of Winston-Salem State University, which they play football there on either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, depending. They get some TV time and stuff. But anyhow, it's sit there, and the racetrack is around. It's been there for years and years. In fact, Dale Earnhardt Jr. tested what is now known as the next-gen car or whatever at Bowman Gray on the short track package. So for this to be lined, we're looking at 26 years here that NASCAR is going to control. It's one of the greatest short track. I mean, NASCAR ran the Cup Series in the Busch, back in the Busch Grand Nationals and the Cup Series. They all ran at Bowman Gray, Scratch. I mean, this was a beating and banging track. And I mean, sometimes there's more action in the pits than there is on the track, if you know what I mean. I mean, I've been down there and it gets absolutely crazy. So this is a great deal for Winston-Salem. This is a great deal for NASCAR to step in here to keep this track rolling, because I'm telling you, if you ever get a chance to get up there, buddy, on a Saturday night, you better get there early, because, I mean, by the time about an hour before race time, you're either being squirted down with olive oil or you ain't getting in, because they pack them. And I mean pack them in every night they're racing, buddy.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. That takes me back, as we're talking about packing them in. It's something we said about Bristol last week about how it was empty or whatever. But to be honest with you, they seat about 140,000 people, I've since learned, which is a ton of people. So it was definitely built back for the heyday of NASCAR, right? But hell, they probably had 70,000 people there. So if the place was half full, you know what I mean? Of course, it's going to look empty, which it did. But 70,000 people ain't nothing to sneeze at. It just doesn't feel what Bristol was built as back in the heyday of NASCAR. But 70,000 people, that's a lot of people.
Well, back in the day when SMI, who is the owning governing body for Bristol, Atlanta, here, Charlotte, New Hampshire, I mean, you can get 16 tracks. But anyhow, when Wilkesboro shut down, SMI bought that track. They took half of the seats out of Wilkesboro and moved them up and put them in Bristol. That's what they ended up doing. Because if you looked at last year's All-Star race, about half the seats are gone. And I'll bet you there's more seats coming around for it this year because they packed that thing out once again. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But great news for Winston-Salem. It's economy there.
Yeah,
they got a car count that you wouldn't believe. I mean, it is something else. And I mean, they different nights for everything. And they run 4 or 5 nights. They run a ladies' night where the ladies pay $1 to get in. And if you want a cold beer, you better get to the beer tent quick. Because if not, I'm just telling you, it's the madhouse, man. It is absolutely mad. Some of the greatest racing you're going to see. Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Bowman Gray. You got Hickory down the road. You get into Virginia Scratch. You've got Langley Speedway. Then you've got South Boston, where the Burton brothers came from. Ward and Jeff Burton in the fried bologna sandwich, man. You just can't. Martinsville's got the hot dogs. But South Boston's got one of the baddest bologna sandwiches you ever want to have. So you got some news about the NHRA, man. They're heading out, man. They're coming my way, brother.
Yeah, 2 weeks and 2,400 miles later, the Lucas Oil NHRA Winter Nationals follows the heels of the season opener in Florida with the annual West Coast lid lifter at historic In-N-Out Burger Panona Drag Strip, which has hosted the Winter Nationals since 1961. Amalie Motor Oil, NHRA Gator Nationals winner Sean Langdon, Top Fuel, J.R. Todd, Funny Car, and Erica Enders, Pro Stock, will be looking for the second season wins and a chance to extend their early points lead when the action kicks off today with the first of 3 professional class qualifying sessions.
You got it right, man. That's it. No bikes this weekend. The bikes are out this weekend. So you got the Top Fuel cars, Funny Cars, and Erica Enders in the Pro Stock division. And this weekend, Tony Stewart, Scratch. Tony gets his second shot this weekend. That car's going to be decorated up. All Mobil 1 for him this weekend. Smoke hits the West Coast, man. How do you think Smoke will do, man? Second race for him this year.
Well, I don't know. He could turn left and he could turn left and right. I'd imagine he's pretty good at going straight. He actually, he's already proven himself at going straight. I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm excited. I believe the money's there, and I believe the knowledge is there, and I believe the lack of fear is there for Tony Stewart. So we'll just have to see, man. I don't follow drag racing NHRA as much as I should. I should follow it a little more. I definitely am excited to see what Tony Stewart does in the sport. Anybody that switches over sports. I mean, even when Jimmy Johnson went to Indy cars, even though that, wasn't all that great, it's still interesting to see, hey, can you guys, go over to these other types of racing and other things like that and be successful. And like I said, Tony Stewart's already proven he's successful going straight, but is he successful in the Top Fuel? That's interesting to find out too. And I guess we'll find out together, because I don't know what to think about it other than, wow, man, it's exciting for Smoke.
It is. He did pretty well first time down at Gator Nationals and everything else. He did real well down there. So, I posted a video that they did an in-car shot. It's up on my personal page, and I'm going to share it later on to the On Pit Road Racing page in WCOBM. But you talk about the focus. And if you watch this video clip from inside the car, an in-car camera, Tony's eyes are just so focused. It's unbelievable. I mean, until the very last second that he pulls his visor down and he flips something in the cockpit. I'm not quite sure what he was doing, but his hands are moving around, moving things, pushing levers, pushing buttons, whatever. But his eyes, if you watch this clip, Scratch, he is so focused. It was just unbelievable to watch him. And then, like I said, the visor came down, and then like 5 seconds later, Tony's off the line roaring, man. I mean, it's a great video. If you just want to see his reaction, the concentration, his eyes are so focused. It's unbelievable. I mean, Smoke is the Smoke, brother.
He'll drive anything. He'll drive it all. He's driven it all. He's driven it all. He's going to drive it all. And if they create something before he gets out of it that nobody's driven yet, I'm sure he'll drive that too.
Well, a couple of years ago, Gene Woods was telling me about this. He's actually been on a Speedway motorcycle before. He's been on a Jawa 500cc dirt bike. Now, he didn't ride it in a race. He was down at somebody's area, and apparently they had a nice dirt track set up, and they pulled the dirt bike out for Tony. And apparently, so I'm hopefully when NHRA gets here, I'm going to get a chance to speak with Tony Stewart. And I want to ask him about what did you think about riding us? Because like you just said, he's pretty much driven about everything that you could drive.
Yeah.
And now that I found out that he's rode a Speedway motorcycle, I think he's rode about everything that you could ride too. So this is just something for the smoke. I mean, no fear. Let it ride, man. Let it ride and let it roll, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. I agree.
Well,
I love Tony Stewart for that.
I love it. I just like him because he's no nonsense. He's a racer, and he's going to lay it straight on the line. I'll never forget that time where it was in New Hampshire and then Joey Logano just first getting in the thing. And it was a Dave Burns, NBC commentator, was coming down the hill, and they asked Tony what it. He goes, he clipped me off the little SOB, and he goes, when I get him, I'm going to knock the hell out of him. I just like the way Tony Stewart is. He puts it on the line. He says it the way it is. And if you don't like it, tough luck. I mean, that's just it.
That. Yep. Yes, sir.
Hey, big weekend for IndyCar, man. It has not been since the Marlboro Challenge back in 1992. The Thermal Club Southern California is going to be hosting the Thermal Club $1 million Challenge. This is a made-for-television thing. Scratch 12:30 Sunday for the NTT IndyCar Series first heat race since 2013. 27 cars divided into 2 divisions, 10 laps. And then they're going to take out of that, then they're going to take the top 6 finishers in each one. So 12 cars for a 20-lap main shootout with a purse scratch $1.756 million on the line. First place to win it gets you $500,000. Second place, $350,000. Third gets you $250,000. Fourth gets you $100,000. Fifth gets you $50,000. And I guess all the other competitors will receive $23,000 for just making it. But there will be no points. And the big line is, this is something to chew on. What do you think? $1 million plus $1 million for these guys.
Yeah, that's exciting for these guys, man. These guys should have an all-star race as well. You know what I mean? Something a little bonus, especially like, IndyCar not having the strenuous and long schedule that NASCAR has. I think it's awesome that they get an all-star race as well, if you ask me. And that's nothing to sneeze at. That's real money right there. You win that thing, you're a $500,000 right there.
Yeah, man. You're lining in light. You're looking.
Maybe we can build a car for that. Get Gene in it.
I don't know. Did you hear what the report was? Now, I had never confirmed this, but I just saw this in a print that Hendrick himself, Rick Hendrick Motorsports, put up almost $900 million to get involved with Arrow McLaren for Kyle Larson to have that double ride. $900 million, bro. That's a lot of money.
He could definitely use that $500,000 for first place in this all-star race, then.
Something. I mean, at that kind of money, you could buy a nice hotel down there on Daytona, buddy. That's a lot of money. I want to ask you about something. I don't know if you saw this. Did you see that Jimmy Johnson wants to get back driving, and he not only wants to drive in NASCAR, he wants to drive in just about any type of circuit that he can get into? Have you seen this?
I did not see that, but
came out on the CBS Sports page.
Okay, he's not going to try to race NASCAR full time again, is he? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. He says he wants to get back. He wants to run. He wants to get back in the cars again, but he doesn't want to just run one series. He wants. Listen.
Hey, you might as well. Hey, if you're going to run last, you might as well run last and everything.
7-time. Listen to Scratch and I here. 7-time. You got 7 championships. You did great. 7.
Fantastic. Amazing.
I mean, you couldn't beat anybody. The only 2 people that you could beat on it was Petty and Earnhardt, and Earnhardt's long gone. Petty's never going to get back in the car again. That's a done deal.
Nope.
7th time. You didn't do well in IndyCar. No. Nope. Stay out of driving. Be a team owner. Work the finances. Get your team with good cars, good equipment. No, stop.
Even that 84 that you're driving, even that 84 you're driving, Jimmy Johnson. You can put somebody in it to run it and give them some experience, or give you that third car, that test car, so to speak.
Right.
You could do that with somebody else. I mean, if he really wants to ride around, it's sad that nobody nobody wanted to see Richard Petty those last years running around in the back and not doing anything. Nobody wanted to see that. Learn just from that. I mean, you're in business with this guy. Learn from that guy. That we don't want to see you running around in the back. I mean, in all sadness and to the great one, Earnhardt, and what happened to him, but I think he was smart enough. He would have got out of the car before he ran around in the back, in my opinion. There was some rumblings of what he wanted to do, past 50 years old, and racing in the car full time didn't seem to be what he was going to do. We wouldn't have seen Dale Earnhardt running around in the back and being happy with that at all. And it was sad to see Richard Petty do it. And no matter how you feel about Jimmy Johnson, I don't want to see a 7-time great like that riding around in the back just because he wants to race.
And in that, and you want to get in, he's talking about, I mean, there's a lot of series. Now, what are you talking about now? You're talking about getting into some IMSA racing? I mean, you did not great in IndyCar at all. Let's face it.
No,
World of Outlaws is a total different animal.
Yeah.
Total different animal than what you're used to driving.
He did run the Rolex, so I could see him doing some IMSA stuff. I mean, he could, I could see him in a competitive IMSA ride and doing some stuff like that, Sebring or Daytona or some of the bigger ones like that.
Right.
But you know what I mean? That's no different than some of the stuff they're doing right now in NASCAR right this weekend by bringing ringers in. You know what I mean? You bring Jimmy Johnson into a IMSA car at a Rolex, he's considered a ringer.
Yep. I don't know, buddy. I just think that Jimmy had a great career, man. Nobody can take anything away from you. One hell of a career.
Sometimes it's hard to get these. Hey, look at Darrell Waltrip. So, Dave Marcus. We could name a million of them. Sometimes it's just hard to get out of the car.
You said Dave Marcus. Now that one will pull off to the side because that was always a Childress testing car right there. I mean, really, when you think about it, before Earnhardt got in it, they tested the other stuff in his car, then put it in Earnhart's car.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah, but I'm saying, though, he was there because he didn't want to get out of the car.
That's true.
If he wanted to get out of the car, he wouldn't have been in that car.
Real quickly here in Melbourne's Albert Park is hosting this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. Red Bull. Ferrari thinks that they've got a shot at it. I'm telling you, I said this on Wednesday's show, Scratch. I don't know if you caught it, but that kid that ran last week in Saudi Arabia 2 weeks ago, I'm going to tell you, if Ferrari gets their head together, gets the car right, and they bring that Braun kid in, and Lewis Hamilton's got something for him, Ferrari's going to be tough next year. This kid is just something else. I'm totally amazed with it. Totally amazed.
Yeah,
So,
that's another thing we'll have to wait and see on right there on whether or not everybody has all their ducks in a row.
Real quick shout out to Starcom Racing, Derek Cope, Alicia Cope, and Andy Lally. First race out of the whole buddy. Podium for them, and they're in Road Atlanta. They were in Sebring last weekend, Road Atlanta this weekend. A special shout out. We've got Derek, Alicia, and Andy all coming on the show.
Very nice.
And I got something else I want to tell you. Just got off the blower. Jeremy Porter, president and owner of Atlanta Motorsports Park, buddy. We've got an invitation to come ride. Let's go. I'm ready to go.
Nice.
Drift cars and BMWs, man.
That's nice. I have a buddy of mine that has a Mustang. I'm not sure what year it is, but I know one thing. He gets it painted once a year. He's got these sponsors, and that's what he does. He's a drifter, and I haven't got to go out and see him do it yet, but yeah, he's shout out to Jack Napier out there. He's great though. I see pictures and he's it's awesome. I'd love to go out there and see that, man. Drifting's pretty neat.
It's got to be tough when you get a father-son combination. We knew about it back in the day when Earnhardt and Earnhardt Jr. did it, but we got something else. Team Hornaday Development has announced that driver Isaac Kitzmiller and his father, Jason Kitzmiller, will compete in the Grand National Superstar Series race opener at the New River All-American Speedway. It's coming up. In fact, it's tomorrow night. Isaac will pilot the number 10 for CR7 Motorsports, and Jason will drive the number 97 for ALL Construction Racing in the National Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram 250. This race will mark the first time that Isaac and Jason have competed against each other. Father, son, scratch this out. Man, I got to see if I can find this on a stream or something, because this ought to be wild to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds pretty fun.
I mean, can you imagine, man?
Yeah. You know, the competitiveness in the family is going to get to him.
Well, you know, your dad, you used to race, man. Could you imagine getting out on the track with your dad and it's 2 laps to go, coming out of turn 4 at New Smyrna and say, Dad, look out. It's Rusty Wallace rule here. You either lead, follow, or get the you-know-what out of my way, because here comes the bumper, Dad.
I'll tell you, listen, I'll tell you right now, that's funny to my stepdad that brought me up on racing. If he reminds me of a Dale Earnhardt type, and I'm not talking about the driving style. I'm talking about the he wish I would put a bumper to him if I was out there racing against him. You know what I mean? Like I would have never lived through it. my stepdad, he was, you know, he liked to, you know, make sure I was straight, you know, make sure I put myself in my place. He was a real good influence. Let's put it that way. But he wouldn't have been, you know, he'd have been quick to come up behind me and thump me in the back of my head if I was acting stupid. So I can only imagine if I was racing to get him to get a little chrome horn.
In other words, if we were at the Madhouse and you heard what I said about 5 minutes ago, sometimes there's more action on the track. So if you'd have put the fender to the stepdad at Bowman Gray, we'd have been fighting in the pits, right?
Oh yeah. More than likely. I don't know if we'd have been fighting. I might have been running, but we'd
you might have been running. There it is.
We'd have had something hot going on, you know.
Hey, coming down towards the bottom of the hour, 30 minutes on our Friday show. And when we get back up on Monday Scratch, we'll recap all there, because we got a bunch of recapping to do with all the major series all running. How about at New Smyrna, man? They're getting their season ready kicked up. I know, got to be great down there in Florida, man. I love that track. Yeah. Great track.
It is. And you know what's really funny is I mean, I could even show you. I'm not gonna, because it'll take me forever to make sure you can see it when I put it up here. But it's so funny because right here on my phone, still, that I was looking up yesterday, was the Bomber A rules. You know, I keep telling you about these stock 4-cylinders. They're Bomber A's, all right? And they're stock 4-cylinders that they run in New Smyrna. And every time I go out there, I get the itch and I want to build one. I don't want to go out there necessarily and race every Saturday, right? I just want to build me a nice, fast stock 4-cylinder and go out there and run on a Saturday I feel like it. Or more importantly, you know, when they put together one of those 3,000 to win enduro races for the 4-cylinders, I'm kind of feeling that. So I literally this week looked up New Smyrna Speedway and was looking for some of the fun stuff they do out there. They got a great lineup all year long now. And man, I'm telling you right now, Alan Michaels, don't be surprised if I don't break right here on Pit Road Racing sometime that, hey, guess what I bought?
And when that happens, we're on a flight. Yeah, we're on a flight to Daytona and pick us up at the airport, man, because I'll sit in the stands and drink beer and root you on all night long.
I'll be there.
Hey, we're coming down towards the end of it. Before I let you go, where they can find the Scratch with a K, any gigs this weekend, shows, tell us all about it before we get out of here.
Yeah, man. Thursday, April 4th, we are starting the Money Mic over at Mulligan's, 3830 South Nova Road in Port Orange, where I'm going to be doing an open mic where I give the top 3 comics some money and gift certificates and all that good stuff. So we're going to be doing that, kind of try to open up to our community here, to my comedy people in the area, to give them an extra place to work on their skill and at the same time give them something cool to shoot for. So the best comic can get $75 for that. That'd be cool. We're going to move our what we were doing as a third Thursday comedy showcase there at Mulligan's. We're going to move that to a Saturday. We're trying to figure out which Saturday of the month we want to do it on. So we're working on that. All that info can be found at nutshackentertainment.com or comedyfromscratch.com. And then this Sunday, I'm bringing back karaoke roulette, man, where we spin a wheel and then it lands on something and we kind of take you out of your comfort zone if you like to sing. And instead of you just coming up and singing the same stuff, you know, it takes you out of your comfort zone a little bit, makes it a little more fun than regular karaoke. Doesn't always make the singers any better, but it makes it a little more fun.
So you got like a wheel, and if I come up there and if I spin it, and if it says I land on country, I have to sing a country tune or a rock tune or a hip hop tune or a dance tune or whatever, right?
Right. I even have, like, for example, and I'm kind of loose with it, but one of them it'll land on to be like The King. Now, automatically, you probably just went right to Elvis when I said that, right? But see, what I'll do for you is The King. It could be the King of Pop. It could be Michael Jackson. It could be Elvis. It could be Queen.
Ooh.
It could be something of royalty. I get a little loose on there with it, but yeah, the King, Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, L. King, BB King. You know, so we get a little loose with it. You know, but at the same time, it might challenge you. You know, if it lands on disco, for example, not everybody knows disco. So it gets interesting sometimes with, and then they follow it up with a song of their choice. So you watch them butcher some stuff we made them sing, and you're like, oh, they're gonna sing another one, and then they blow it out of the park because it's not something that we forced on them. So it's pretty fun. It's a good time.
I'd be okay if I hit the disco thing, as long as I didn't land on like the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack and I had to do the Barry Gibbs high notes, man. I mean, I'd be lost then. I'd be out of the ballpark.
Well, much like regular karaoke, you don't really have to sing that good.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's me. You know how bad it is, man. If I sing in the shower, and the cat is in the bathroom, like the cat likes to lay on the tile floor. Like if I'm in there and I'm taking a shower and I start singing, the cat like screams to get the hell out of the bathroom, man. She can't sing. Shut up, man.
I'm happy that my girl could sing, and she's in a band that they just got started called Gnarly Quinn. I can't wait to see them get out in the public and do their thing. But fortunately for me, she could sing. So with all the bad singing I hear, I get to hear a lot of good singing from her. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, there you go. That's a good thing. I mean, a good thing for both of us, I guess. There we go. It's just finding final notes. Social media, where they can find you. Tell us all about it, Scratch.
Man, they can find me on Facebook at Scratch Comedy. That's my personal page, or at Comedy from Scratch. If you look that one up, you'll get Scratch with a K. Of course, Nutshack Entertainment's on there as well as Scratch's Nutshack Comedy. That's the best place to find me on Facebook. And then, like I said, my website, nutshackentertainment.com, where you can listen to Nutshack Entertainment Radio and this show.
There you go. Well, quickly to get them out of here, man, we'll go around the track one time. Once again, Formula One racing coming up this weekend. The Rolex Australia Grand Prix. ESPN's got the coverage. Check for your local times. F1 returns back here to Las Vegas in November 2024. You can get tickets right now, F1.com. NHRA's back in action at the In-N-Out Burger, Panoma Dragway in California. Four Wide Racing gets back here August 12th through the 14th. Tickets are available, LVMS.com. NHRA coverage this weekend from Fox. Fox Sports 1 has got it, and of course, NHRA's got their radio broadcast too. IndyCar for the Thermo $1 million challenge out in Palm Springs. NBC Peacock and IndyCar Live have got it for you. March 24th for the big race. And then let's see, the big World of Outlaws, Big O Speedway. Big O Speedway, Kendall Speedway tonight. Big O Speedway tonight, Kendall tomorrow night. And of course, NASCAR's back in action. General 200 at Talladega coming up. And then the trucks, Xfinity, and the Cup all at COTA this weekend as we get our first shot at the road courses. Final words from you today, my friend?
Hey, man, I'm excited for some racing this weekend at COTA, some NASCAR racing at COTA. We'll see what happens. I'm like I said, I feel like, oh man, I feel like the Xfinity race is going to be, you know, for one, I'm just looking for my notes right here. The Allmendinger, that's another one that's got a shot this weekend in the Xfinity race, but because he's won 6 of 15 races, 6. All right. That's Allmendinger. So he's got a shot. I just wanted to point that fact out. But Shane Van Gisbergen in the 97, he was the fastest in practice today. Obviously, we don't know who's on the pole right now, but that's going to be my pick for the Xfinity race. And hell, we all know he's got a shot at the Cup race too. Who knows?
Yeah,
I'm just ready to watch road course racing.
Let's see, Cup race this weekend. I think Chase Elliott's going to get his first win this week.
Okay.
Chase Elliott on the road course.
Okay.
Tyler Reddick. Watch out for Tyler Reddick.
Okay. I'm going to go Martin Truex Jr. because I didn't take him last week and he finished second. So I'm going to go with him this week, who is also great on a road course. And my dark horse, I just told you that number, that Shane Van Gisbergen. That's my dark horse.
SVG, buddy. Yeah, SVG.
It's easier to say that, isn't it? SVG, because that's what they are calling
it.
I mean, he's doing double duty, so he's already going to be a little warmed up, man. That's my dark horse. I'm going to go with him as a dark horse, and I'm going to go with my guy, Martin Truex Jr., to win at Coda this weekend for the Cup race.
Just got a text from Bill Rundle, man. Bill Rundle was the guy that did all the engine tuning for Evel Knievel and Robbie Knievel. He's been on this show. And he's watching the show. Hi, Bill. How you doing out there today? We're going to get Bill back because he's got some great Scratch. We got to get him on the show with both of us because you'll get off on this. He has got some great Evel Knievel and Robbie Knievel stories to tell, man. It's really cool. Bill Rundle, happy to have you out there, Bill. Thanks for watching, buddy. Appreciate that.
I met Robbie here at Daytona one time, just to throw that in there.
Yeah. I never knew Robbie was as sick as what he was before he passed away. He was actually in hospice and everything else. I did not know that he was that bad off. But the Knievels were a group, that's for sure. They were a group. Want to remind everybody on Pit Road Racing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 p.m. Scratch and I do it together on that. Diane will be back with us on Wednesday. She said hi and hello to you, Scratch, and hi and hello to everybody out there. She's feeling a lot better, looking good. She lost a lot of weight too, but she's feeling real good. We had a good appointment with the kidney people yesterday, so everything's looking good, and she'll be back with us on Wednesday. Okay, my friend?
Great.
Well, I think it's that time of the show. Shall we call upon John?
Hey, John. Show's over.
John is...
Thanks for joining us for On Pit Road Racing. Follow us on our website, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at On Pit Road Racing. On Pit Road Racing is written and produced by WCOBN TV. I'm John the Announcer for On Pit Road Racing.